All right, mission log, star date 5/17. It is I, Captain Myke, with my Lieutenant Commander, Monsignor Moody. How's it going, sir? We are the Geekdom Gamescast. We are back. This is our special Mass Effect Returnal episode. We're in space. We're just chilling out here in the stars. We're going to talk about Mass Effect. The Legendary Edition just came out. We're going to talk about Returnal. We're going to hit up the holodeck and go to the MLB, see old school Earth baseball. And then, yeah, we're just going to catch up. It's been so long. We had that great Mortal Kombat. First of all, Travis, how are you, sir?
Fantastic. Always fantastic when I get to hang out with you and do a show. It's been a while because you weren't on the Mortal Kombat, but those girls held it down. So Katana and Melina really held it down. So
yeah, they did a really good job, and I think they're people probably enjoyed watching them more than me. I'm cool with that. I'm cool to say that, so that's fine. But that was a good episode. Mortal Kombat, crazy movie. And video games, I felt like we were in a slow point in video games for a while, right?
Yeah.
There weren't that many crazy releases, and all of a sudden, warp speed, everything's coming out. We got a bunch of stuff. There's a game I really wanted to play that I can't even play, but I'm not even complaining about it because I have so much stuff to play. And talking about so much stuff to play, Travis, 3 games came out for the price of $60. The long-awaited BioWare's comeback, Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Yep.
We both just started kind of playing it. You're further than me. I basically just destroyed the zombies with the thorium on Pharos, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at right now. Mass Effect 1. I also had never played the Mass Effect games before. I played a little bit of 2. But didn't get any substantial length into it. So I know this is your favorite franchise in video game history.
Yes. Yeah.
Does that still stand? How does it hold up? Let's talk about let's say, how does it look? Is it weird to you? What do you think about the visuals so far, the presentation?
So yeah, this was made, I think we mentioned this on a show. It was made for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One or Xbox One X, or the PS4 Pro. It was not made for the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X, but that said, on the PS5 it looks fantastic. And Mass Effect 1, which is a severely dated game from 2007, looks as good as Andromeda, which came out just maybe 5 years ago. So that's a huge push. And it looks better in detail because it's got 4K visuals, which Andromeda didn't have. So when you get really in depth in the conversation scene, so my boy right here, Garrus, he looks fantastic. And might
be the best looking one in my opinion.
Yeah,
he looks great in 4K.
Absolutely. So the human characters don't look as good, kind of a BioWare trait. But other than that, I mean, they kind of, them and Bethesda have that in common. They have trouble with the, But that said,
they're such sprawling games, So it's you gotta forgive them. It's not so much of a Naughty Dog Last Effect where it's not that big of a game, so they can focus more on the visuals and stuff. But
definitely.
Yeah, 2007, man. That's PS3 and Xbox 360. That's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, what's crazy is we're putting stuff away. I got a new roommate and they're going through and I'm like, wait, you have Mass Effect? And he's like, oh yeah, no, an old flame gave me that. So it's he's like, I never played it. I don't care to play it. I was like, well, do you care if I play it? And you're going to be like, yeah, sure. I'll play it. So it's it'll let me play it. Cause I played 11 hours and I've only had the game for 2 days. So I think I played a little more, but I died. So probably 12, 13 hours. But as far as gameplay, I played 11. But it looks fantastic. I mean, imagine playing it back in 2007. It didn't even look that great back then. And then now I'm kind of blown away by playing this game all over again. So and the facial animations are better.
Yeah, the facial animations are good. All the presentation, everything got an upgrade. We got new sound. The sound sounds better.
Yeah.
It's not like they re-recorded things, but when you hear it in Dolby, I got the Arctis 7, the 3D audio.
Mhm.
It's not quite 3D audio, but it just sounds good.
Yeah.
And then how do the controls compare
Well,
to Mass
I
Effect?
just want to touch on sound real quick because I was at the docking bay talking to the commander, and I might have had the bass on a little too loud. Thankfully, what's cool about my setup, my home theater, is and I have a super cool neighbor downstairs. Shout out to Cha Cha, she's awesome, voice
Shout out.
actress. But her kitchen or dining room is below our living room, so it doesn't disturb them, her and her daughter sleeping. So because I've asked them, I'm like, I'm playing like Call of Duty or whatever at night, like gunshots. I'm like, did I wake you up? They're like, no, we don't hear anything. The kitchen's below you. And I was like, oh, perfect. So, but yeah, I could hear the rocket, like the rumbling engines of the ships at the Citadel on the docking bay, and like that. Yeah, just it's a new experience because we have bigger TVs now. I mean, when we played this game, we might have had a 2732 at the most.
Right.
Now,
And then as far as sound goes, we didn't even have I think we were plugging in our consoles with the 3 wires that were red, white, and yellow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not quite even anything close to the HD
Yeah,
sound we have
we had
now.
TV speakers, yeah, or maybe
Yeah.
if we did have surround sound, it's nothing like Dolby, where But now, yeah, the cannon fire, everything, it feels like it doesn't feel dated. I mean, a little bit. Some of the stuff like is wonky, like the running animations and like just moving around. You might get caught up in the environment trying to walk around. Like there might be some bugs. I haven't experienced any crazy bugs and glitches, but I've read that there was some too. So
I haven't hit any crazy bugs and glitches. And yeah, it does feel dated, especially coming from Returnal, which I'll talk about later. But
yeah.
once you get into the flow of it, it really you can kind of tell why it was a classic. Once you
Right.
have all power ups and stuff, and you're using your squad members,
Yeah.
it feels so good. And the controls, they feel just solid. They feel perfectly adept for a game that isn't primarily an action shooter. It's more
Well, it
of an
feels like
RPG.
Mass Effect 2 because Mass Effect 1, we love the lore of it, the stories, the characters, but the
Yeah,
game.
I heard that. I heard that Mass Effect 1, the shooting was garbage.
Well, no, I mean a lot of the gameplay itself was garbage. I
Yeah.
mean, but the just the whole imagination of it. It's like imagine playing a bad Star Wars game. It's still Star Wars, right? So this is kind of like how Mass Effect is. It's like I guess that was the problem with Andromeda is it was all new characters and stuff. So when people weren't really, the gameplay was actually really good, but people weren't feeling that part of N7. But in this, you can make up for dated stuff, bad
Yeah.
controls, whatever, because the lore is so fantastic, like the
Right.
dialogue. And if you've never played Mass Effect, there's no game that has better dialogue choices that matter. Like each
Yeah.
step of the way. And I'm kind of screwing myself because this time I'm playing as a Paragon because I did a full Renegade, and we know how that ended, right, Michael? Like by the end of 3, spoiler alert, like
I don't know. I haven't played any of these games.
no, but
so
you heard the fiasco.
I've heard
like
the
no
fiasco.
matter.
I've heard that people were pissed. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna play 70 plus hours 3 different times, and then by the end it doesn't matter because they had a fixed ending. Of course, they went back and fixed it, but it was DLC, and a lot of people tapped out by then. They did go and correct it. So in this one, I think they have the course corrected ending, so it does matter. Like, and all the DLC is free. So a lot of those complaints about Mass Effect 3, they're gone now because everything they had course corrected. It's here now. So. But
so
just
you are changing it up, even though that your choices didn't matter the first time, you still want to do something different.
I do, yeah, because I want a different experience. But there was a couple times where I'm like, fuck this guy, I don't want to do. It was like he wants me to go arrest this guy, and then I'm like, I'm down for a shady deal. So then it gave me like 9 renegade points, and I'm like, no, what did I just do? Because I'm playing like the conflicted Paragon, like maybe a modern Captain America who's gonna like bend the rules a little bit. So I'm kind of
U.S.
like,
agent.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like that. So there's certain people I just want to be a dick to. So and then and I'm also playing with a fem shep too because I only played with a male shepherd who I made myself, and now I'm playing with a femshep who I just make like a combination of two girls I like.
Yeah, I'm playing I'm playing FemShep too. Because I heard when everyone was talking about when Cyberpunk came out, how the voice actress for Cyberpunk for female V was like a talented voice actress in video games, and she just did such a great job. And
Yeah.
how the male voice actor was like some guy from movies and TV who didn't quite get into the video game space performance wise. Um, I heard people comparing that to the Mass Effect trilogy, and Jennifer Hale doing the FemShep stuff. She's great. So I was like, oh, I heard FemShep was good because her voice acting is really good. No, I mean, I've heard clips of the male Shep, and he sounds great too. Like he sounds way better than male V from Cyberpunk. But I just heard particularly that her voice stuff was better. Jennifer Hale stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of playing similarly to you, where I'm like a Paragon. I just got big into Star Trek in the pandemic, so I watched like all the Next Generation. So I was like playing it like a.
Have you talked to Dana lately then?
Oh, I'm saving like a weekend for us to like just really chop it up about Star Trek. But I'm playing it like a Federation officer, so I'm like really diplomatic. I'm like really like like nice and stuff. So Paragon, but I do renegade for if I'm pissed at like a dude. Like I'm not gonna be diplomatic with a truly evil person. Like I killed one of the guys that was controlling the exogenesis little corporation that was turning everyone into zombies on that one planet. I know the Paragon was be like, okay, you're forgiven, like we'll let the law deal with it. But I was like, no, screw you. Like you're dead. You fucked with these people's lives.
Yeah.
So I'm a little rascal a little bit. So it's fun. I'm really excited because everyone's talking about how the transition from game to game is going to be seamless. So like your characters, all your stats and stuff, your load will be for Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. I know that was a big deal with the original trilogy also.
Right. Yeah,
but
that's what made it so great.
Yeah, they even made it to the point where like the default FemShep in 3 is the default one in 1 to make it continuous for you weirdos that don't like to customize your character. Like you don't want to have like a cute little anime commander like me with a purple haircut and like
I thought of doing something like that, and then I was like, but then I was like, if I do create a FemShep that looks like this girl, then maybe she'll appreciate it. And she did. She's like, that's so kick-ass. I was like, yeah, it might be you. So
were you on Bumble when you were
right? Thankfully not. Thankfully just a normal text message. But I'm right now I'm in the frozen world of Noveria, and I gotta say this, Michael, I really enjoyed the Mako. The worst part of Mass Effect. The Mako was kind of fun. It operates so much better this time.
Yeah, I remember I started to play in the Mako and I was like, wait, this is fine. Why was everyone complaining? I was like, oh wait, like they probably changed it, and I looked it up and they did. So it's
they overhauled that thing.
Is that not that much of a difference? Night and day difference between the Mako 1? Yeah, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, just drives so much better. I had very little trouble even traversing through the snowy, the skatey mountaintops and everything. So yeah, I mean, even shooting, you got like a little more. I don't remember there being a like a focus like a
I don't think there was
scope. Yeah,
I think in a review I saw people were saying that they added that to 1 because it was, I think maybe eventually they had it in the series, but they kind of made everything streamlined, which is really good. Right.
And same thing with the gunplay too, just running around, it feels so much better. It's not quite Destiny level or Borderlands or anything like that, but it's light years better than it was in 2007. So story wise, I left off where it was perfect because last night stayed up. I usually go to bed at like 10 p.m. and get made fun of constantly by my roommate for being a baby and go to bed at like 10:30, 11 o'clock. And I was up to like almost 2 a.m. last night because it's Mass Effect. It's one of those games I could literally, like, if I didn't have any responsibilities, I could just play and probably not sleep for like 3 or 4 days. And I captured it or killed or whatever the matriarch, Benazia. I don't know how to say her name, but she's in Peak 15. It's actually Liaria's mom. And but I'm not going to meet Liaria until later. And but yeah, the battle, I don't remember there being, and this is nothing that was changed But I don't remember being a battle this intense in part 1, because I remember all the gunplay of Mass Effect 2 being like the breakout. But it was like 3 swarms of Asari commandos and guest snipers and stuff, and like I died a few times, on just the regular, normal and everything. But it was a pretty intense firefight. It was a great way to end the night. So thankfully my neighbors don't care, because I had that surround sound going. It's 2 a.m, and I'm like, this is the greatest game ever, and it's actually the worst of the 3. So
yeah, that's why it makes me so excited, because I'm getting into it now. Like after I think 4 hours, at first I was like, okay, I was still feeling my way through it. Like it's an old game. It basically came out 14, 15 years ago, which is insane. I was in my 20s. That's so crazy. But once you get to the point where like you're commanding your people to do different things in the battle, like when the zombie hordes were coming after me, and then I had my boy with the biotics like pushing people and lifting people, and then I had my other party member doing overload.
Ashley Williams.
Yeah, I was playing with Ashley Williams, and what's dude's name? That's like,
I don't know. He was in my party last night with.
I literally only use them.
Rex?
I want to use Garrus and Rex because there's like, who cares about the humans?
Talia is cool too.
But I just need, like, he just has full biotics. So I was like, well, I want to play with this, so I'm gonna mess around with this guy first.
But, who'd you go with? What's your class?
I am just a straight up soldier.
Same, actually. I was a biotic last time, and I just went with soldier because they improved the gunplay this time. So I'm like, I'm gonna do a lot more shoot. In that game, all I did was like force movement, and I'm like, I don't want to make this completely Star Wars. And I wanted, like you said, I want to be a Paragon soldier. I want to be a real Marine, an N7 Marine this time. So just using guns and grenades feels right with that, where if I'm just doing, I'll kind of want my aliens to do the other stuff. And then I kind of want to progress into, because in the other games, you can enhance your abilities. So I know for sure in Mass Effect 3, even if you come in as a soldier, you can end up a biotic. So you
that's
can kind of,
cool.
you can evolve into it. That's kind of what I want to do. I don't want to just start off being super. I want to like kind of progress into being, part of the arc, part of that story.
Yeah, and I mean, us talking about this, it just makes me appreciate, even though like some things might be dated, regardless of what they tweaked for the remaster. But the storytelling and the characters, that stuff holds up very well. I know like so many games like The Witcher and Cyberpunk, and like just name any of your RPGs that have come out since 2007 have kind of like been inspired by Mass Effect, but still the source material for like this kind of storytelling, where like you're talking to your parties and stuff, it's just so good and so
speaking of that, did you go to the Citadel yet?
Yeah.
Isn't that like
yeah, it's massive.
That's 2007, right? We're talking like I mean, I've never played it, believe it or not. As big of a fan as I am of the lore, it's my favorite branding thing ever, but I never played the Old Republic, and I'm guessing this is where this is coming from. And I'm like, God damn, just remaster that freaking game so I can play it, because I'm not going to go and play it on Xbox original or
original Xbox
PC or but
rumors that there's going to be a remaster for Knights of the Old Republic, so we'll see.
Yeah, we even mentioned that on our prior show. But one thing that was funny last night, I'm playing and I'm like, how do I use my Metagel? And I'm like trying all the buttons, and then like you have that bionic arm, like the glowing crane arm, and I'm like, oh, I guess I am a bionic, and that was the Metagel, but I didn't know I was healing myself, and I wasted them all. And then this game is from 2007, so they don't hold your hand navigating that mini map, other than when you see exclamation points every once in a while. Like, there's no, like, if you pause it and go to settings, you can't look at your controller layout. You can't look at a giant map. Like, you're fucked.
I know, you really have to do the thing where like you memorize it like old school GPS without your phone.
Yeah.
Where you're going, okay, I'm gonna go straight and then left and then right, and then you just look at the environment and see where you're gonna go. But once I feel like once you get the feel of it, it kind of eases you into the whole game, because you're like, okay, this is how this game works. This is how like the maps are kind of laid out. So and this is still just the original Mass Effect. I'm sure, like you said,
Right.
Mass Effect 2 and 3 are like way much bigger improvements. So that's gonna be
Oh yeah, I'm like,
badass.
I know, I'm tempted to like check it out, but I still have to. I'm gonna, yeah, we'll have to keep updating on the show, like, hopefully on the next show we can. I mean, I'll probably still be on Mass Effect 1, but um, maybe at least like a few shows from now, we could talk about Mass Effect 2, or
Yeah,
we
yeah,
Geekdom
definitely.
Gamescast. We could talk about 2 and 3. There was news today, but I want to ask you one question before we wrap this up on Mass Effect. Was did you get to the Normandy?
I did get to the Normandy.
Okay, you did.
It's a
Okay,
good
cool.
ship. She's a good ship. And you're talking about the sound, like the ambiance of a ship, kind of like is a big deal for sci-fi geeks. So like, I was digging it. I like the layout. I still remember it from 2. So like when I played a little bit of 2, so I felt kind of in there, but it's got everything. And then I like how you could just between missions, just like, oh, I just want to chill and like talk to everyone and like find out their backstories, and it's all engrossing and intriguing. Your navigator guy is like a little racist towards the aliens, which is so funny.
Oh, you're talking about Joker?
Not Joker.
Oh, That's Seth Green.
Yeah, Joker's cool. He just has like that whole like inferiority complex. But Presley, I believe is his name, Navigator Presley.
Yes.
He's by the like the big. He's in this room. He's probably standing right here, on the Normandy. So
He's like this.
yeah, he's just like, I don't trust aliens or whatever. I like the nuance to everyone. It's really cool. Like everyone has like a really clear cut description. So man, I'm
Yeah.
so stoked, dude. Mass Effect. Finally, I've wanted to go back and have an excuse to go back and play this whole trilogy because it's such a big blind spot for me as like a gamer and a sci-fi fan. So like I'm definitely like in it.
Feels good, doesn't it? And did you know what my job is?
What is your job?
My job, like when I'm not doing this stuff or whatever, is I'm a bridge crew member on the USS Orville.
Oh
So
yeah, that's
I
right.
literally am playing.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
I am playing my job on TV, and I'm playing it on the screen.
That's like when you were in Tenet as one of the guys in the doing the pincer maneuver. Now that we can talk about it since it's after it came out.
And then
Now
we're
that you're
playing like Call of Duty. Yeah. So yeah, the timing of this game
Man.
couldn't have come any better, being a regular for the season on Orville, and then all of a sudden, hanging out in the Normandy. I'm like, oh, this reminds me of something. I wonder what that was. Oh, last week I was there. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but just without Seth MacFarlane. So I give this. It's early. I only played 11 hours, and it's an automatic bias 10 out of 5 whiskeys, but I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5 as a real score. It's tremendous, and I can't wait to get in 2 and 3. There was news today, though, Myke, that the Legendary Edition changes Tali's face portrait from what I read in Mass Effect 3. I guess if you romance her with your Shepard, there was a previous photo that was photoshopped of a Miss England 2005, and people got upset by that even back then. So there was always cancel culture, even 16 years ago.
Probably give me my money culture. You're using my likeness rights, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I don't know, but they were happy to have. They changed it. But Tali's like a human now. So I don't know, but people are less upset at the change. And how the hell, man, have they slept yet? It's Mass Effect 3. Like, did you guys just go to Mass Effect 3 to see if? I think people just went to Mass Effect 3 to see if the portrait is different. They were just ready to go on the internet and let people
which is weird because I know that they tweaked some leveling thing in Mass Effect 3 because previously you had to level up for the final battle through the multiplayer, and now that there's no multiplayer in 3, they just have that from your save in 1, 2, and 3. So now all your work in 1, 2, and 3 goes to that leveling thing. I'm being really vague just because I don't know what this is because I never played it, but I heard that So it's like it's weird for anyone to go to 3. I'm guessing it's just some trolls, yeah, that want to go to like the ending of 3 and be like, oh, I'm gonna make a meme out of this, like who don't really care about playing the game. So
Get a life, people. So I don't know. Your turn, man. Your turn to shine. I'm glad that you are in the Mass Effect universe, but there's probably a universe I won't be in because I heard it's super hard, despite being like the perfect marriage of Metroid and Alien, right? Talk about this
yes,
other game that's like kind
that's
of come out of nowhere. The whole chat. We were supposed to do a show last week, scheduling conflicts. It was supposed to be you, Jameson, and D. D's real busy. She's got like 3K subscribers now. She's getting a little too big for our show. So but Returnal, man, talk about it. I want to hear I heard some stuff. I want to hear your perspective, but I heard it's a really hard game.
it is a hard game, but I really dig this game. It's great presentation wise. You're right. It is. That's a perfect way to explain it. Is it's a cross between Alien and Metroid Prime as far as like the gameplay goes. It's got that creepiness of like even more specifically like almost Prometheus. Say what you will about the storytelling of Prometheus. Like I'm talking about just the ambiance and stuff of Prometheus. And it's only on PS5. It's not one of these games that's like, oh, we made it for PS4 and PS5, so it's not going to be that much of a leap.
It's a hard exclusive, next gen exclusive.
Yeah, it's a hard next gen exclusive. So because of that, they're doing crazy stuff like the load times are instantaneously instant and that's great because of the nature of just dying over and over again. And then you've got the haptic feedback on the controller, the DualSense still. It's just another reminder that the DualSense is probably one of my favorite new things of this generation in general, because like the cutscene that starts you off, you're in the rain, or sometimes you're in the rain, and on the DualSense you could just kind of feel almost like separate raindrops on your hands, which is really intense. It's really awesome.
Wow.
And they use that speaker really well to have kind of supplementary sound to the sound of your guns reloading and getting power-ups, so there's so much more depth and dynamic. I'm playing with, like I said, sometimes I play with the Arctis, the 7Ps. It's a 3D audio thing. Some people say it's like comparable to the PlayStation headset, and the 3D audio sounds great, sounds amazing. It's so crisp. I haven't heard anything like it other than $25 tickets seeing Star Wars at the Man Chinese Theater or whatever. Right?
Holy crap!
It sounds really good, but it also
is it scary?
It's creepy at sometimes. There's some
thrilling.
Yeah, it's thrilling, and it also saves my ass sometimes because a guy will be right there, and literally instead of like the days when we played, you were talking about our TV speakers. There's where you couldn't tell the difference between what the hell was over to your left or over to your right on like 2 o'clock and 8 o'clock. This time I know exactly where I'm gonna go, so I could, if a bunch of enemies swarm me, then I'm right there just like using my sound to get around, which is really cool. So far, like I only have one big criticism and a little bit of nitpicks, other than the fact that it's just like a hard ass game. I know I talked a lot about Hades because it was so cool. I usually don't like roguelikes, but this one, because the presentation's so good, the combat's so good, it feels super snappy and super tight. The guns, they do this thing with your aim down sights where you press it halfway in on the left trigger instead of all the way in. But they make it easy for you because you could feel on the left trigger kind of a halfway stop almost, and then you can go all the way for your alternate fire.
Oh,
which is really
sick!
Badass.
Oh, that's
So yeah, like
that's
just
intense.
stuff like that, and just the guns feel really great. It feels like you progress.
Did you hear about the save glitch?
Yeah, that's okay. So this is the big thing that that's my big criticism is the saving. Some of these runs, like from start to ending, can go on for 4 hours, and you can't save in the middle of them. It's
God,
huge. It's a huge step back. It's a huge drawback for people like us, Moody, who have jobs and lives. I have
that game cannot happen in this house. It's just too much. There's just too much of it's too much of a madhouse. Yeah.
Luckily, that's something that you could probably just patch in. hopefully
Yeah.
in the future. And which comes to my other bigger criticism is like $70 might be a little. They might have been saved because there's not that many PS5 exclusives coming up. But any other time, that would have been a big mistake to make this $70 because I'm sure like it costs that much money it costs a good amount of money for Housemarque to make it the way they wanted it, but for like what the game is like, it's a pretty steep price point for more casual gamers, I guess.
Yeah.
So hopefully they patch that in. Hopefully there's more saves in the middle. What I do like is that you don't have to beat every boss all the time, which is cool. They make it really easy once you
That's
progress.
great.
There's like 6 biomes, I believe. Once you progress to another biome, you can kind of skip the first one. So it's like, that's why they call it a roguelite, not like, because there is progression and you do get weapons and stuff, some certain abilities that kind of stay with you permanently when you die.
Yeah. I also heard too is like someone's like progression got erased, but
There was a patch.
but
So
they had well no, they had picked up like a certain like grappling hook or weapon, and so then when they got back, despite the progression erasing, they still had their grappling hook. So certain things got kept or something.
That's
So
interesting. I thought you
yeah.
were going to talk about, there was an instance when the first major patch that they released, they had to take it down right away because it was literally deleting people's saves, which is
Oh
like,
my god.
for a roguelike game that's super hard, it's crazy.
Oh, damn.
Um but yeah, so other than that though, for a roguelike, welcome to outer space, sir. It's still like, it hurts so good, is what I'll say. It hurts so good to like suffer. It's not like Demon Souls and Dark Souls and stuff are just like frustrated. For me personally, just because I like the third person point of view, I like, there's that active reload, very much like Gears of War,
Nice.
where you could overload and just overload your guns and stuff to make them stronger or whatever. There's just so many cool things with the combat that it just feels good to play over and over again. I kind of feel like I did back in the day when I was a kid at an arcade, except for I don't have to throw quarters in.
Oh yeah.
I had to make a down payment of $70, but I like, all those arcade games that you just play the first level over and over again because you just die.
Yeah, yeah.
But you still like were down to play it because it was the Ninja Turtles and you were with your friends and it was super fun. I feel
Well,
like
you're gonna have to come over and play Marvel versus X-Men because I got that arcade here.
oh
So
yeah.
yeah, so there you go. Pretty soon, bud.
That it just feels like that. It feels like a dope arcade game. And I do feel myself getting good at it. And some of while it's not like Hades where like a lot of your stuff carries over, the narrative still supports this whole like she's dying for a purpose thing. And it also like there's a few things that like
So what's
uh
the game duration then in a game like this? Like how long does it take to like beat it and stuff?
I don't know. I guess it depends on how good you are.
Oh,
I've heard people say that they've beat it in 7 deaths. I'm probably at 27 deaths. I've probably played like 10 hours on the second biome. I haven't beat the second boss yet. I will say I had an easier time with the first boss than everyone, but I also just had a cup of coffee. It was a Sunday and I was focused. This is not a
yeah.
game that like, oh, I want to chill and on at 8 o'clock at night right before I go to sleep. That's Mass Effect. So I'm glad these two things coexist.
I had a nice coffee and it was still in my hand at 1:45 in the morning. That's how I made it. That's a key.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
So what about the whiskey scores here for this? An early whiskey, what do you think?
So yeah, preliminary whiskey scores. I've heard this game gets really crazy after the third biome, which I'm almost at. But regardless, it's still pretty amazing for what it is. Especially for a game that I don't like, a genre that I don't really like as much.
Yeah.
Besides this and Hades, basically, it's just like so well done and so beautiful in the PS5. All the bells and whistles. So I'll say from now, let's say a 4, but with the potential to be 4.5
Okay.
if they patch in that save stuff, because you could use the standby mode. You could make your PS5 go to sleep and then
Yeah.
like kind of pick it up again, and it's kind of risky because people have been reporting sometimes that your saves will get deleted and stuff. They got that, but it's just not enough. And also, I would recommend anyone, if when this eventually goes on sale, pick it up on sale, just to check it out. Like you, Moody, even though you don't like a game like this, if you can cop this for like 30-20 bucks eventually, like in Black Friday, just to feel what it's like and just to like mess around with the guns a little bit, like even if you're not going to finish the first biome, like I'd say it's worth it for that price. But 70 is a little bit steep, but I'm bad with money, so fuck it.
That's how much money in quarters I'd use anyway, $20. So
Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, exactly. That's actually a good way to look at it.
oh, because
If I die 70 times, that's like $1 arcade machine, basically. So maybe I'll
Yeah.
just die 70 times. But yeah, it's a great game, but it's still got huge obstacles to overcome as far as like that save thing. So I'll just say only a 4
for now, but it seems like a game that with some patching could be game of the year contention.
Maybe not game of the year. Ratchet.
Okay, well, a lot of people, I guess, are building this one up.
Ratchet and Clank looks so good. We'll talk about that later. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but it's definitely game of the spring. I know it doesn't have a lot of competition.
Right.
Game of the spring for sure. I'm talking about spring. Spring training finished.
Springtime, man. It's springtime.
It's time for baseball.
All right, Red Sox did. Ohtani hit that game winner over the Green Monster, but I still got a lot of their first place. I'm big on baseball this year, and I kept my review code of MLB The Show this year, I think. Sorry, Robert, who's editing this? I think I gave him my copy last year or one of the year before that, but it's on PS5, man. I had to play it. But that said, it's not quite the leap that we got with NBA 2K21. And that was surprising because I didn't think NBA 2K21 was going to be this amazing right away on the first, and the game came out before the PS5. So, unlike, that game came out like September, October, NBA 2K. We're here in April, and now we're in May, and MLB The Show's here, and it's great. It feels it felt like a huge generational jump right away, but then the longer I play it, I do notice that it does. And I'm kind of like listening to people who played it last year. It's not exactly that leap, but
wow.
That said, the stadium light reflections at night are just amazing. Like, because the last time I did play this was on, an Xbox, not an Xbox, because it's on Xbox now and Game Pass, and of course, which is weird because this is Sony San Diego who makes this.
It's a Sony published game on Xbox on Games Pass.
Yeah, on Games Pass. So that's why I did appreciate the preview copy, because if I didn't get it, I would be playing on an Xbox One X, because I don't have a Series X yet.
I saw someone tweet that, hey, isn't it weird that Sony released a first party published game on Xbox before Microsoft did, because they haven't released just a Xbox Series X game yet, basically.
Yeah, I actually would have been tempted to get a Series X if I didn't get a code for this on PS5, because
Games Pass.
Because it was on Games Pass, and it's a very expensive game. I would have paid $550 to play MLB The Show. But I mean, there's a plethora of other things to play, but this would have been the reason. So I can kind of hold off just till the next exclusive. But I'll tell you what, I right in the beginning of the pandemic, when I got that first stimulus check for $1,000, I used it on an intense surround sound. I guess our checks were $1,200, but I got $1,000 surround sound. So the ballpark in this game, like I never experienced a video game ballpark, like this with the Dolby Surround. And except there's a little too many fans in a lot of the stands right now. There should be COVID protocol, 25 to 50%. But I guess some of the complaints were that some of the player likenesses aren't close, but the stars look close, like on the Red Sox, Bogey, Xander Bogaerts, and JD Martinez, my two favorite players. They look exactly like they do in real life. So I guess that's kind of, the stars will look great, Fernando Tatis and stuff like that. But then, once you get into deeper in the in maybe the minor league or deeper in the bench, they're just going to look generic. I mean, that's kind of with most sporting games.
Yeah, like
But,
LeBron always looks good in NBA 2K, but then if you like try to use
right.
Alex Caruso, he's gonna look like a monster.
Exactly. But all right, so why do I want to talk about MLB The Show besides the fact that I'm actually watching a hell of a lot of baseball between the Red Sox and Dodgers, two great teams, and I'm loving the game on PS5 just because it's on PS5. It does look great, and even though it's not like eye-popping like NBA 2K or Miles Morales or anything like that, but it's because Road to the Show. You play as yourself. I'm Travis Moody, and they actually say my name. They actually got Moody in there. So you start off in this one. You start off a 2A default player. No, I'm JD Martinez, man. I just want to DH, play the field, only hit home runs. I don't want to pitch. But it's cool is if you want to do both, you can hit and pitch. But thankfully, after a few games, you can decide just to. You could tell the coach, like, no, I'm going to stick to, being a catcher, first baseman, or whatever. I went with outfielder. But what's awesome is on the PS5 and Xbox Series X and MLB The Show, not on PS4, not on Xbox One X, they don't have this incredible, awesome, like, video podcast commentary on your Road to the Show. So, for instance, they can't really use your name but they have in between certain amount of games and stuff, they'll just have like MLB Network dudes talking. It's like you're watching ESPN or MLB Network, and they're just like they're talking about you, a little bit generically, but it's really cool. And I was like, oh shit, Mike Lowell, he used to play the Red Sox. He was our third baseman. So it was really cool to see like, high def 4K video of like these baseball personalities talking about like what my like season player. I thought that was like
that's awesome.
Something
like
I've always wanted. Yeah, I'm so big on sim stuff. Like I'm not an online player. I don't do like the Myke, like in NBA 2K we always talk about because that's the game you play. Like the the Myke core, my player, like that whole thing. Like I'm such a sim franchise guy. So for this to like,
that's a cheaper option because if you were into my park, you'd be dropping like hundos on shorts and the ability to lay up.
Well,
everyone does.
Glad you brought that up because that's what Diamond Dynasty is, and it's not in my notes because I'm not doing that trading card stuff where you start off with a generic team of like guys who barely made the majors or they're minor leaguers, and then it takes you forever to get an all-star player, and you got to pay. It's cosmetics, as we know. It's pay to play, pay to win. So, but you mentioned the DualSense and Returnal. So we're coming together here because the pitch is, so this is the difference here. On the it's on Game Pass, but playing on PS5, you get the DualSense, and pitching, you just feel it come out of your hand. And then also you feel the crack of the bat, like as you hit it, because it's so immersive, It's like, I don't know how else you explain it, but you could literally, when you hit a home run, you feel it. You actually feel a home run, just like you would in real life. You're dropping that bat, and like I just want to throw the controller to the ground. See ya. That one's a goner. So that's pretty dope.
That's cool. So that's like a big generational difference. Then is that DualSense? I'm saying, man, like we can't even explain it to you. That's how cool the DualSense is. If you haven't had the chance for a PS5 or whatever. So is that Road to the Show? That's kind of like My Career. Is there like a story behind, like a filmed actors and stuff with a narrative?
No. So yeah, they don't do that, but there is locker room in between, and they do have like it kind of looks like GM mode in NBA 2K where it's not quite theatrical, but you do have like your coach saying, hey, I'd like you to go out there and pitch, and you're like, no, fuck you, I only want to play left field or whatever. Like it's kind of that, but there's no story behind it. So that might be the next step. And then I think the next step in this game will be an even bigger leap because of like to me this game is mind-blowing because there is an up-res and a 4K up-res, even though it wasn't made for the PS5. But a lot of people, like I looked at some other reviews and stuff, and they're like, yeah, it's kind of like it looks good, but it's still dated to the PS4. So, but there's some other faults. Overall, I love this game, but some fellow players of MLB The Show are saying it takes way too long on Road to the Show to get called to the majors. Now I'm starting to worry because I really, really enjoy the mode. You pretty much only play when your guy is – you can play the whole game if you want. That's stupid. But you can basically just play when you're at bat or when a ball is hit to you. Say I'm playing right field. When the ball's hit to me, that's when I play. If the ball's not hit to me, it sims to your next appearance, whether it's defensively or offensively. And that's why I didn't want to pitch. Because then I'm basically playing half of every game.
Right, yeah. So now you can just skip most of the game and stuff and really get to it.
Yeah, you're only going to go up to bat 3 to 5 times, and then a ball might be hit to you 3 to 5 times. So game
right now you're still stuck in AAAs right now?
Well, right now I'm in AA Toledo, man. I am Mass Effect's out now, so I gotta get back into at least spend a couple more hours playing. But what I'm hearing is people are stuck in AAA after year 3, even with huge stats.
Oh my God.
Like, I'm batting 350. I got 20 home runs, and I got called to the majors, and they set me back down even when I got hits. And so some of the I don't even know what would you intelligence there, the AI.
Yeah. There's like a dissonance from like what's really going on.
The programming. The programming is off. So.
It's kind of like in 2K when you get like called up to the league like way sooner than you probably should be.
Oh yeah, like we talked about that. Like I got drafted 3rd when I bet like 10 a game.
Garbage. Yeah, exactly. They're like, "Oh, freak, we can't wait to see what freak does this game." And it's like, "Dude, I got like 5 points and like 2 rebounds. I'm garbage. You shouldn't."
I know they're comparing you to Dominique Wilkins, and you have like 2
exactly.
points.
They're giving me screen time that like Steph Curry would have.
Yeah.
Like, no, you wouldn't interview me between first and second quarters because I'm no one. I'm a third stringer at best.
Yeah, and just 2 more nitpicks real quick. Someone also said there was a problem with stat building, so they weren't able to like choose where their stats went, unlike like previous years. But I haven't experienced that quite yet. And then there's the March to October mode, which I also love. It's very similar to Road to the Show. So, for instance, instead of baseball, 162 games. I know people who have done it.
Oh my God.
What I used to do though, like hardcore in the old fans. Right, and like when MLB actually with 2K had an MLB game, I played 1 game in every series once. So if I had already played Baltimore, I would never play them again unless I and then I play maybe if it's Red Sox Yankees, I'll play the whole thing because it's Red Sox Yankees. Like our international league. But what's great about March to October is you get to just play situations. So they might skip like 7 games in a row and then be like, they'll take you to like the 6th inning, or they might even take you to the bottom of the 9th with 2 guys on, or they throw you as a pitcher, like they're going to like, oh, you're Chris Sale, go for the no-hitter tonight or whatever. Like they give you they pick out certain situations. The problem is that, and a reason I wanted to kind of talk about this game now and not back when it came out is Red Sox are right as of this recording, we're 25-17, but last year they were horrible in 2020. And since the games are simmed, Red Sox are losing like 7 in a row, 6 in a row. And I'm like, so you can actually go in exhibition mode and play with live rosters. Okay. And it will say it's like NBA 2K. Like, what is that? Like the play now? Like,
yeah, play now.
Everything. Like if Anthony Davis is out for the game, he's not going to be, you can't use him like in exhibition mode, like same thing here is like JD and Bogey are hitting 350 with 10 home runs each or whatever. And that's how they're going to play in this game. But in March to October, it's based on 2020 stats.
Oh, that's a bummer, man.
And I'm like, this is my
season.
This is my favorite mode. And it's off. I'm like, the roster's a little off. Like, the guys are not as good as they should be, and it took me out of it. I kind of almost just want to do exhibition mode, which sucks because you really have nothing to play for other than just the moment. So, but
you mentioned it, it's a problem in 2K also because I would want to play the season and be like, oh wait, we beat all these fools already. Like our season records would match, or like Braun would be out, and then you're like, okay, but like why is he in here? Like, I don't like that dissonance either. It'd be fun to just be like, okay, you're anticipating tomorrow's game against the Dodgers, so you want to play it first to see what it's going to be like, so you can place your bets with your bookie or whatever.
Yeah.
But then like the game feels so much different because this dude is supposed to be out or whatever, or like that's a bummer. So yeah.
No, 100%. Or they're or even worse is like, the guys don't play up to the way they're playing in real life because it's based on last year. So what they really could, it's hard to do, but come up with a live season mode. Like they're doing live exhibition. The next step is to do a live season. That's a lot of work. And I think they make all their money with this microtransaction. So do they really want to put a lot of work into a live season mode that maybe only 10% of the, most people are just playing online, and so that's the issue with that. But look, I give it enough sports ball. I give it 4.25 whiskeys because I didn't play last year, so I'm still like loving the game. I mean, I just said all kind of bad stuff about it, but visually, sounds, gameplay, it's perfect. It's a perfect baseball game, but it's all these like little things that kind of like are annoying. And I can't wait to see how it looks when it's just made for the PS5 and Series X and not for the last gen.
4.25 is not bad. I mean,
no, it's a great game.
You got to think that now that they have the deal with Microsoft also, so they're probably getting way more revenue on their sales. I know they have the Games Pass thing, but I'm sure some people are still buying it regardless because they don't have Games Pass for whatever weird reason.
Well, yeah, they get to double dip. They get to get that Game Pass money and the PS5 money.
So maybe next year, like some of these things will fix. But then there's some of the things like we were talking about, like live season modes, which probably won't ever be fixed in sports games, sadly. But that's not a bad score. I'd also like to retcon my scores for Returnal and Mass Effect. I want to say the same scores, but instead of whiskeys, it's Romulan ale since we're in space. That's all I wanted to say.
Love it.
All right, Moody, that's what we've been playing basically. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get any of our buds on this time because we have a lot of people that have also played Resident Evil. We know that's a big thing that everyone's playing that you probably want to hear about. We'll definitely probably in the future get people to talk about Village. I really want to play it. The reviews seem pretty good.
What's Village? I thought it was Resident Evil 8-age.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Resident 8-age. I don't know what
8-age. Resident 8-age. Yeah.
Evil 8-age is perfect.
Yeah, but yeah, Resident Evil 8 Village. Yeah, it's you. Would you say the scores are good? Review scores? I mean, we haven't.
Review scores seem to be pretty good.
Yeah, Kaiko is gonna review it. She gives everything a 5, so there's a spoiler right there. But I don't know.
I'm excited. I want to play it because people say it's not as like overtly crazy scary as 7 was, where it's like PT or Silent Hill or whatever, and it's more like the kind of B horror Resident Evil 4-ish kind of thing. So I'm
that
really
sounds dope.
To play it. Yeah. The only thing is, people are also saying it's like only 12 hours long for like a full price. So I might be waiting for.
Well, you see the memes? Like the game starts off really creepy and you're scared and haunted, and then like by the end you're like Rambo just blowing everybody away. Like the memes are really funny. They're like show like a scared cat, and then all of a sudden it's like Rambo or something. It's like by the end of Resident Evil 8, it's it's pretty funny.
I do want to play it though. I really want to play it. I'm excited after hearing about it and how it's more actiony. I kind of want to check that out because the comparisons to 4, man, I really loved 4. So you
can't beat that. No, for sure.
So that we got that coming up, or we got it. You probably played it, but we're going to talk about it in the future of the show. And also we got a pair of furry gun-toting maniacs that are coming. Biomutants coming May 28th, and then we got Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. They did the state of play. We didn't get to talk about it because we didn't have.
But
haven't been on a Gamescast since. But it looks amazing, dude.
But dude, I played Biomutant at like PAX 2010, 2018. 29 2018 I can't remember now. It feels like a Returnia ago, but it's Biomutant was fun. That was like one of the things I talked about when I got back from PAX because it's so indie focused, and that was one of my highlights. That was like, wait, when did Days Gone come out?
around 2017, 18, I think.
Okay, so that was the
Yeah.
time. Yeah. So this was like because Days Gone was the big game there,
Mhm.
and Biomutant was next to it, and it was like that's
And then it
kind of the drop off.
disappeared. And like we were all wondering, like, where the hell is this game? There's some other games that came out that looked like it, and I was like, was
Yeah.
that the game that Moody was talking about? But it wasn't. But it's finally coming out, dude. 2021. I guess better late than never.
What is there a date?
May 28th, I believe. Yeah. So.
Oh,
by-
whoa.
Yeah.
Wait, like this? Wait, what?
Well,
Oh,
we're
like
as
10
we're recording
days?
this on the 17th. So
Yeah,
we still
10 or
got
11 days. Yeah, it's crazy.
25th, actually. It's still on the
25th, so a
20th.
week.
Yep, on a week.
Oh man, I gotta check and see if we can score a code for that because that was a cool game.
Yeah, if you're listening to us and you're in PR, please just give us a code. You heard how great we talked about all these other games.
Yeah.
And then we got Ratchet
so-
and Clank, which
Yeah,
looks
dude.
amazing, man.
State of play, yeah. So.
I played that first one recently, actually, in this little lull that we had in the spring where like nothing came out. I was like, oh, I never played that 2016 remake of the first game, and it was actually really fun, even though it felt older because it was like stripped down like Mass Effect 1 was, but like after playing that and then seeing the state of play, I was like, are you kidding me? This almost feels like when I first saw Mario 64 for the first time.
Whoa.
Like it looks so beautiful, right? Like when you first see the city, I was like, that's crazy. All the particle effects look amazing. All the new gadgets, they're gonna have fun with the gadgets. Insomniac, Sunset Overdrive on the Xbox. Like they love to have like they do really creative things with the guns, and just the scope of this. Like I remember we were talking about Ratchet and Clank back in the day when the PS5 was first previewed, and the big thing that we were talking about was like the whole Rift thing, which is still like an exciting part.
Well, the game is a rift apart, isn't that the title?
Yeah, exactly. It's the whole point of the game, right?
Yeah.
So like we were excited for that to see like what the SSD will do of the fast loading between worlds. But even just in the world of that city, man, like it just looks like there's so many assets at once in the game, in the level.
It's very lively, yeah.
Right, yeah. They're just like particles going everywhere. There's so much on the screen at once, and it looks so smooth. And it looks like, I know this is kind of hack for video game journalists, but it does look like you're playing a Pixar movie finally for the first time.
No, that's a dope comment.
So it's crazy.
Yeah.
So
Compliment.
we'll be talking about that for sure. And then we got E3 coming up. So
And then the date on that one, Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank is coming out June 11th, I believe.
Okay,
Rift
so just in
Apart.
time for E3. There's an E3
Right.
now. Now we're gonna have to go in a portal, but it's free though. It's free at least. So kudos to that.
Hey, hashtag free 3.
Yeah, but there's going to be a week of media before that, even though we're not actually going to be there. They don't care if we're vaccinated. So I'm not going to get into it. But anyway.
Yeah, we'll probably have like a preview for E3 eventually.
Yeah, that'll probably be, like, so what are we at? 2037?
What's up?
We're talking vaccination. Your mind's on.
Oh,
we're episode 37.
Yeah, episode 37.
So, like, probably episode 40 would be the good, like, big E3 episode.
Yeah, that's true.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think it's time for bed. I think we're at the point of the show where we're like, all right, we've had enough.
We've had a long day on the bridge. We went to 3 planets in one day. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time. So please, Returnal, back to the podcast. We're gonna have so much more to talk about. But for now, this has been great. This has been a legendary edition of the Geekdom Gamescast.
Love it.
I once again am your captain, Myke, and with me as always was
Commander Moody Shepherd.
Lieutenant Commander, but that's not fair, man. You're Admiral Moody.
Admiral Moody.
Admiral Moody.
Yeah.
We're
I wish I could
off.
tell Seth MacFarlane that. I'm Admiral Moody. I could do what I want here.
Yeah, so check out the Geekdom Gamescast on the Facebook group and all that stuff. Check us out. Subscribe on YouTube, and until next time, we'll be in.
And check out the Geekdom fan cast.
Yeah,
you want to talk about that for a second?
Yeah, my podcast, the Geekdom Fancast, which is where we got half of the name for this podcast. this little video show that we do now, this YouTube show. We're coming up on the last 2 episodes of basically my geek career for now. So at episode 200 of the Geekdom Fancast, I will be retiring from that and the Gamescast, guys. But I will be returning.
Oh, what?
I'm sorry to break.
No, you already told me.
I'm sorry to break it to you randomly on stream. Dude, I was going to turn heel. Yeah. Nothing against Derek and Moody. I love you guys still. We'll still hang out and stuff. But for now, geek stuff. I will be taking a little break. I'll probably come back for Horizon and shit and like God of War. I definitely still want to talk about stuff. But yeah, so check out the Geekdom Fancast. Moody's gonna be on the next episode. A bunch of other friends that we've had on this show and on that show, and like in PHG history in general. If you've been a fan,
awesome,
check that out.
Cool.
But I'll still be with you for E3 and all that jazz.
Yeah,
I can't wait. I'm excited.
E3 will be your retirement ceremony. So I'll thank you then, but thank you for tonight. This was great. I loved. We got to catch up. It's been like a few weeks. So
all right, Moody, it's time to play more video games. We got so many to play.
Exactly.
Peace, everyone.
All right.
Live long and prosper.